that makes us strong enough to overcome all the kinds of stuff that goes on in life today. And this is not just like in America, it's international. Certainly in Brazil, people are having a really rough time there. India, my God, it's just like a nightmare what's going on in India. So try and, really work deep inside and use whatever it is that goes on in life as a reason to grow and as a reason to just recognize that there are no answers, real answers in the external world. All of the answers that have meaning and that really help us to live every day are inside ourselves. And we are responsible to open in enough depth that we can tap those answers. To me, the answer always is what gets me closer to my spiritual enlightenment. It's never been how much money I'm going to make and this and that and the other and the next house and the next car and all that. It's always been what will get me closer to my spiritual enlightenment. And as soon as that opens, my heart always opens. My heart becomes really this great lotus flower that opens up. There's quiet inside, there's joy inside, there's love inside, because it really takes consciousness to a transcendental level, a level that goes all up, if you'll pardon my Bronxese, all the bullshit that goes on in this world. And there's so much of it that, the horrible thing is that after so many thousands of years of people trying to fix the bullshit, they never learn that they got to fix themselves. It's not the external world, that needs to be fixed. It's the internal world. If people fix their internal world, the external world would get fixed, Everybody would approach life differently. But that's not going to happen. So in our small group here, we have to utilize whatever is available in our day-to-day reality as a reminder that we need to truly work on ourselves. We need to get real answers to this thing called life that manifests all around us every single day. So please, everyone, try and work in great depth inside, try to open. And as I announced earlier, on Monday, I won't have a class. I have something that I need to do, so there won't be a meditation on Monday. There will be one Sunday, and there'll be one on next Wednesday. So please open up very deeply inside. We'll have a meditation class. Muted, everyone, and if anyone has a question, I'd be happy to try and answer
it. Stuart, are you afraid death? Did you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I didn't understand that.
Are you afraid? You're not afraid of death, dying? You're not? Or I think you did.
I always tell people the problem isn't fear of death. The problem is fear of life. If inside yourself you build an inner life that embraces life, that opens to life, there is no, there's never a fear of death. Because people are afraid of the unknown and they think we know life, but, we know 5% of life. And there's all that fear. And once one overcomes that kind of fear, there's never fear of death. Because, there is no death. Life is eternal. It's, the soul lives through eternity. It's connected to God, to higher energy. Mm-hmm. And if you connect with that, then there's no fear. 90% of your fear just goes away. Mm. I mean it, It's a very important thing to learn, and it's a very elementary thing that is learned in this meditation that I teach. Not to be afraid of life. Not to have to hide from life. Not to have to build fortresses around oneself that we think are going to protect us. And all they do is smother us, keep us from, ever really creatively living in the world. So it's never the fear of death. I don't believe that. I think it's more the fear of living in people, truly living.
So beautiful. Yeah. Nice to hear that. Yes.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Well, Stuart, then I'll ask, based on that, how you mediate openly living creatively and preparation simultaneously for events or future or.
Look, the preparation is in sitting down every day and working on yourself, not by projecting what you think life should be or is supposed to be, or what you work on yourself every day. And life is full of surprises all the time that it presents to us, and a lot of things that come to us that are never things we ever thought that we would have to deal with. And if you build that inner life, that's your preparation. Not, sitting down and, doing some kind of a chart. It's, well, I mean, I used to do that when I was younger. I say, well, today I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. And by the end of the day, I did that and that and that and that. And it used to make me crazy because I never thought I was getting anything done. And yet I was getting done what I had to get done, what life was presenting to me. So the preparation is not something in your head. It's something you do by building an inner life. You prepare yourself for all the things that manifest in your daily life. And you come to the realization that I always talk about this, the future doesn't exist. Other than, we project it and we manufacture it. But in reality, there's just this moment. The past is dead, it's finished with. And the only thing we have is this moment. And if in this moment, we build our life, our inner life, and then we build our life in the world, we prepare ourselves, whatever the future is going to bring to us. It's a hard thing to grasp because we're trained from the earliest age to think and to work out your life. And, from the earliest age, we're taught this by our parents, by schools, and yet look what goes on in the world. I mean, I listened to the president talk last night about all this stuff he wants to do. And, yeah, it comes from his heart and it's well-meaning, but, it's words unless they start doing it in the present, in the now, and really building in the now, whatever the future will bring. And then you spare yourself a lot of disappointment. I mean it. We project all these things that we think we want, and then they don't come, and we wind up getting upset and disappointed and angry. And in doing that, we miss what really has come. What really the universe has presented to us, the next step in our lives. We want it to be here, but it could be over here. So my preparation is doing this. I mean, I've taught 3 meditation classes today. That's my preparation, building myself inside. And then what comes, comes, And I'm never disappointed at what should be, because who knows what the hell should be. I mean, all these people that run major corporations and all, I mean, those things were built by day-to-day effort to build them, however they did it, whether it was legal or illegal or whatever they did, it was all done day by day by day by day. The pyramids were built brick by brick. They weren't built, So our job is to do the inner work, and that really is the greatest preparation for whatever is going to happen to you in your life. Doing your inner work. And then working in life, you want to build a life for yourself, it requires work. Allowing that energy to manifest in your day-to-day reality. And that allows us to have goals, you understand? I mean, when I was living in Texas, my goal was to get out of Texas. And I knew I couldn't just walk away. I had to build a situation where there was nothing else for me to do there, and then I could leave. And I made it. And I wound up building this huge situation there, Restaurants and all kinds of stuff were going on there. Tibetan temples, bakeries and candy businesses. I mean, and one day I said, Stuart, there's nothing else you can do here. You have worked your way out of here. It's time to leave. But I knew I just couldn't walk away. It was the same thing with what happened when I was in New York. I couldn't just walk away from it. I had to build this thing to the point where I could leave. There was nothing else I could do there. Same thing with one's family, with your jobs. I mean, when I was younger, between 20 and 25, I used to work as a waiter in restaurants. And I didn't particularly like working as a waiter. But I remember once I went to some major corporation to apply for some job. They were going to train me to be some kind of a junior executive in the firm. I walked in the building and I was choked to death. I just couldn't stand being there. I left. I went out and got a job as a waiter. It was easy to get and I had money in my pocket. I did that for 5 years. The last job I ever worked on as a waiter, I said to myself, Stuart, you're not going to get fired. You're not going to, if you have to do this job for the rest of your life, you're going to become one of the best waiters in this restaurant. I said this to myself. I made that kind of commitment. And I remember, the day I quit the job, the boss, the owner of the restaurant came up to me and said, Stuart, if you ever need a job, you're always welcome to come work here. And I knew I was finished with waiting tables for the rest of my life. I had done it. And I think everything, we need to apply ourselves to our life consciously and make commitments that way and not be angry because of what we have to do every day. We don't like it. I was born to be better than this. No, you weren't. You were born to do this because that's what your life is doing. And then you do it to the ultimate of your ability. And I'm telling you, it just changes. Cycles come to an end. And if one has the inner growth, you step into the new cycle. It's a whole different world. Does anyone else have a question? I must have worked in 300 restaurants in New York City when I was younger. I made it. And when I first started working in those places, I was the best. You know, I needed money, so I worked, and as soon as I had money in my pocket, I didn't care and I got fired. I quit. It must have been, I don't know how many restaurants I worked, almost all over New York City. I probably got famous. Don't hire this guy. He's good for 2 months. I remember when I worked in a restaurant, it was kind of a New Orleans jazz type place. And we would do all this stuff. And one day they came up to me and they said, how would you like to go and warm up the audience at the Johnny Carson show on television? I mean, they came to ask, they said, sure, why not, you know? So I went with about a group of 5 or 6 people, and they had a band playing this Dixieland music, and we're cheering everybody and warming up the audience at the Johnny Carson show. You know, it was, you know, I mean, all kinds of jobs, crazy things that came. And I did them, and I said, do these things the best you can, Stuart. Do them the best you can, because you'll never get free of these things if you keep walking away from them. You'll only get free of these things if you really fulfill your karma doing them. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask? I hope this is all clear, you know. Excuse me. I can only talk from my own life, what I've been through in my life, and how I've used everything in my life for a singular purpose, to learn how to have a spiritual life. And then all of you can come fit in my heart, you know, really. Every single person fits right in. Unconditional love. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, there'll be class on Sunday. I told you there'll be no class this coming Monday, and then there will be class the following Wednesday. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.